Time's the charm. Second time is the charm. All right. Sorry about that, folks. But welcome. Welcome. So I'm getting myself set up here. Okay, well, my cup is in the way. Some people already clicked off. It's all good. All good. All right, here we go. All right, folks. Welcome. If you saw the first scheduled live stream, I apologize for that. If you were here in the 34 seconds or whatever it was, I forgot to set my stream to setting to horizontal, so it was only going to stream vertically. And yeah, I'm not doing that. So I had to stop that and create a whole new one, which is so annoying. But that's okay. It's part of the experience, and we're good. We're here now. We're horizontal now. So again, I forgot to set my settings to horizontal on the live stream, on the scheduled live stream. So now the scheduled live stream has already gone up and gone. It was 34 seconds long. No one's going to see it because I'm not going to make it public, obviously. But yeah, so I had to make a whole new stream, so I'm sorry it doesn't have the fancy thumbnail yet. I'll do that after this is done. It doesn't have the fancy thumbnail. It doesn't have the title, the fancy title that I spent hours on yesterday. But that's okay. That's okay. We've got to learn, and we'll know for next time. But I think I was too excited to get the stream up that I forgot to change my settings. But so that's okay. So for anyone who saw the scheduled stream and had the link for the last stream, well, it's obviously gone. So, but it's okay. We're live now. It's fine. And welcome. So I'm gonna be sure my chat is on. Live chat. Yep, should be on. All right, perfect. All right, here we at. Hey, Jasmine. Here we go. Thank you. Yeah, I love it. We're here live on the beach with the seagull right here. Hey, man. Hopefully you guys can hear me, by the way. It's a little windy, so hopefully you can hear me. But what's going on, man? It's a seagull back here. I don't know if you can see him. Hold on. Let's get a... I don't know if you can see him. My screen's a little dark. Hey, buddy. All right. Anyway. For anyone who's just joining the stream, welcome. I'm on a little bit of a hill. I'm on a little bit of an angle here, so hopefully for you guys, the screen's not like this. But, but welcome. Hopefully it's not too windy for you guys just joining. If it is, let me know. I'll try and move around, but it should be okay. It's a nice breeze out here. It's 8 a.m. here in Australia on Thursday. Thursday morning, 8 a.m. here in Monkey Maya, so it's nice. Nice little breeze going on. Again, if it's too strong, someone let me know, just so I know. And for anyone who's watching the replay, they don't get just a microphone and headphones full of wind. But I think it's okay. The wind's not too bad. So it's okay. And if you can hear me, let me know as well. But we're just gonna talk about travel, folks. We're gonna talk about travel. First of all, actually, by the way, I just want to say for anyone who is here live, there's a few of you guys here live, but for everyone here live, for anyone who's watching the replay, for anyone who's watching the, was only live in the replay, but everyone who's watching, or who has watched, the last live stream we did was a couple of weeks ago, and at that point I was at 297 subscribers. After that, I think a couple days after that, we just decided to take a huge jump. So we are now at 325 subscribers. That's what, a 20, wow, you guys do the math, I don't know the math, but but that's a big jump. That's all I know. That's what, 20, is that right? 27 subscriber jump, I think, if I'm doing mental math right. So I appreciate you guys. And we're gonna keep doing these live streams, okay? And again, I gotta give a shout out. If you guys have known me, you've been around the channel for a while, you know that I'm going to bring up Tim at some point. I mean, come on. Okay, so I got to give a shout out to my guy, Tim. He is the live stream king. Okay, so I got to give a shout out to him because he's encouraged me, number one, to make videos. You got to stop messing around. Last week's video, go watch it. Thank you. And after the live stream. And but also he's the live stream king. He is the live stream king, okay? And he's been encouraging me to do more live streams and whatnot. So if you don't follow Tim, or if you haven't followed Tim, Timothy Ward on YouTube, go follow him. Go show some love. Tell him that Ross sent you, and he'll know exactly who you're talking about. But I just want to just big thanks to you guys for the big subscriber jump. Trying to keep doing live streams. Again, anyone who's joining, I'm here on the beach here in Western Australia. It's about 8 a.m. here. It's about, 6 p.m. back in the States, over in the Central Time Zone, about 7 p.m. Wednesday, Eastern Time Zone. For anyone who's in the UK, I'm sorry, it's midnight out there, just a little bit after midnight, so I apologize for you guys. Someone had to sacrifice. Okay, the U.S. had to sacrifice 2 weeks ago. Now it's the U.K. had to sacrifice this time. It's a bit weird because like all my followers and stuff are from all over the world, so it's a bit hard to set up an actual time. So I'm playing around with times and such, but also appreciate the likes, by the way. But yeah, so the UK, I'm sorry, it's the middle of the night for you guys. The US and South America had to sacrifice last time. But yeah. So anyway, let's talk about some travel, okay? 2 weeks, no, not 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, last week, I posted a video, and it is time to stop messing around. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. Shout out to Coldplay, by the way. You know I had to do it. But I made a video that said it's time to stop messing around. And what I really meant by that was I was really kind of speaking to myself along with many other folks as well. But when it comes to that could really mean anything too. But for me in particular, it just kind of meant, okay, it's time to stop messing around. It's time to start getting this YouTube thing going. It's time to start getting some more travels. Well, actually, I don't mess around with travel. But for the YouTube, the YouTube part of it, the YouTube side of it, I was telling myself, hey, time to stop messing around. It's time to get going. Time to start posting more. Time to start getting more engaged. And I think because I'm also doing it a bit different. Not necessarily different, but just when folks set up YouTube pages and social medias and stuff, most folks will try and do at least one or the other, more than the other. Not to say that no one does it at the same time. There's a lot of people that do it at the same time and they're balling. But when you're starting, for the folks, who are starting, it's a bit rough. It's a bit rough sometimes. And so, because you just kind of feel like it can be a bit overwhelming. Okay, you got to post all over Instagram, and then it's not even including TikTok, and then YouTube Shorts. Shout out to my man Scott, by the way. Okay, go follow them, Scott and CJ, and on YouTube. But yeah, he is an advocate, a very strong advocate of YouTube Shorts. And I stopped posting on Shorts a while ago just because it wasn't really working for me. Until I started talking to Scott. So, so Scott, if you're watching, whether live or the replay, appreciate it. And yeah, Scott and CJ, go follow them on YouTube. They're great. Aussie couple. They're amazing. CJ's hilarious. Or they're both hilarious. But anyway, I think they're in Nepal, by the way. I'm just giving away their content. But yeah, he's a big advocate for YouTube Shorts. So what I do now is I create Instagram Reels. Instagram sees it first. Okay, rosstravelsofficial on Instagram, by the way. But Instagram sees it first. So I create it for Instagram Reels, and then I'll post it on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. I just use the same thing. Gotta spread the wealth, spread the horizon a little bit. Okay, with the water behind me. Okay. I wonder if I can angle myself to see but the problem is I'm on a hill. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. But I'm on it's not a big hill, but it's just a little bit of a slope. So that's why I'm trying to sit so it's level for you guys. But for me, I'm just kind of angling myself. But we've got hold on. Let's just take a moment. I'll get back to the story in a second. Let's just take a look at that. I don't know what you guys can see because my sunglasses are on. But I mean, come on, man. Here we go. Ironically, this is the video where I recorded the stop messing around video. Hopefully I'm not missing any comments either. I think we're good. But anyway, yeah, so I made it for myself, that video, because I was I need to really start hammering home both YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, everything. And and we're gonna start doing that. So ironically, I recorded that video on this beach. I walked way down there. I was about, what, 20, 25 minutes I walked down there. It was amazing. It was amazing. So I'm in a desirable location. Got to start recording more videos. I'm going to get some more equipment and stuff today after this live stream, ironically. Hashtag payday yesterday. For anyone who doesn't know, payday in French is jour de paye. Anyway, fun fact of the day. But yeah, but that could mean anything as well, because I know I mentioned that in the video last week, and that could be for anything. That could be for travel just in general. Like, it doesn't have to be for YouTube videos. It doesn't have to be for content. It could just be for travel, period, whether you want to make content or not. It could be for life. It could just be for, like, all right, it could be for, it could be life advice. Okay, it's time to stop messing around and get this Airbnb ready to go. Or it's time to stop messing around and get my taxes paid off. I don't know who you're talking about. But like, it could be for anything. It could be for anything. So, I kind of made that video, number one, for myself, but then also for a lot of you guys. But I did make it mainly for the travelers as well, because I get a lot of people all the time. Ross, how do you do this? Ross, how do you do that? How are you in Australia? How do you make this? How do you make that? And so I made that video as like a general thing. Lots more videos for more in-depth, what's the word? Scenarios coming soon. And yeah, so be on the lookout for that. But that's just kind of what that video was about last week. It doesn't necessarily have to be only travel. But I am traveling, and I am a traveler. I am on a quest to all 197 countries. All right. And this year, at the end of the year, we got some massive plans. Only a few of you guys know, like maybe like 4. There's not a lot of you. I mean, well, actually the South Asia part. Yeah. And I'll tell you this now, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm planning a trip this year to Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, and Pakistan. That's the goal for this year. We are going to be adding some more countries in there, though. I'm not going to tell you which ones right now, because we need to keep up the suspense. All right? We need to keep up the suspense as I take a sip of water. Okay? A few of you guys know what those extra countries are, but there's only like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 of you guys that know that. Stay hydrated, folks. It's important. But anyway, yeah. So there's a few countries that I'm gonna keep a secret, keep on the suspense level. That thing's gonna be pretty fun, and it's gonna be some countries that nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to expect, which makes it a lot more fun for me. Because it makes it a lot more fun for me, because I know when I go, or when I announce it, which I can't keep secrets. And you guys will probably know in like a month, but publicly at least. But like, when it comes to places like, hey, you know what? The thing with that is, because so many people ask me too, like, oh, why would you go there? Why would you go there? I'm like, why not? Why not? And I'll tell you this. I'm not gonna get controversial, but just allow me this 2 minutes to say this right now. Stop watching the news, please. I know some people don't like it. Some people don't like that. But Ross, how am I going to hear about this? Ross, how am I going to hear about what's going on in this place? How am I going to know about? Doesn't matter. Hopefully there's no one around me, because I'm like screaming. But like, y'all, we got to stop watching the news, man. I get it. You want to know what's going on. And I know there's stuff going on in parts of the world, and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I get it. But I just don't want to wake up stressed. You wake up in the morning, you make a cup of coffee, you flip on the morning news, and 10 people died in a car crash, or all these planes. I know planes are falling out of the sky right now. All these planes are falling out of the sky. I mean, that's an understandable one. I get why you're worried about that. I get it. But like some other stuff, like it's just death and murders and killings and this and that. I'm just like, y'all, please. It's just, I haven't watched the news in years. I think it's been about 2 years since I've sat down and actually watched the news, like CNN or whatever. Well, I don't watch Fox News. Let's not do that. But some people are not gonna like what I said. Anyway, doesn't matter. But yeah, overall, it doesn't matter what news channel it is, whether it's a U.S. channel, Aussie channel, Indian news channel, it doesn't matter. It's time to stop watching the news. I know, again, a lot of people aren't going to like that I said that. It's okay. It's okay. I'm accepted that a long time ago. All right, I've got people that I know that are on all sides of everything, politically, news-wise, friends, outlooks, everything. I've got friends on all sides, all everything. I'm used to it, and it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. You know, if they want to stick around, they stick around. But it's about time you stop stressing yourself out, watching the morning news or the evening news, and just because you're just gonna know that it's something negative. That's kind of the point that I'm getting at. You flip on the news, someone's dead. Something's been blown up. Something's been turned over. Some people have been laid off. This company has been bankrupt. And why do you want to do that to yourself? It's just negativity just pounded in your brain. Like, come on, man. What are we doing? And please. I'm gonna make a video on this. I might make a video on this, but like it's not really. I don't know. It's kind of. I'm over 2 minutes. I know I said 2 minutes, but but I know that's a little bit travel related, but it's just a bit controversial, and I'm not trying to do that on my channel. As honest as it may be, and some people may disagree with that, but like I'm not here for negativity. That video, stop watching the news. That is an exception because it is important, and I think folks should listen to that. But like, number one, you're not going to please everybody. Not everybody's going to listen. And I'm not expecting to. But number two, I'm just trying to keep it positive on Ross Travels. So we'll see if that video comes out. But I got a lot more positive travel talk to do on my channel. So we're going to keep it there for now. But stop watching the news. Because it's just going to make you negative. It's going to make you stressed out. And just nothing good comes from it. Like, nothing ever good comes from the news. You flip on the news and someone's dead. Like, come on. So anyway, enough about that. Let's talk more positive stuff. But yeah, I know that, I don't know, I'm kind of circling back to this, but, some folks, back in the States have been asking me so many times, like, Ross, how are you traveling? How are you going to this place? How are you going to that place? Again, I'm going to make a video. But for everyone in the United States, primarily, only because number one, we don't have a lot of options for working holiday visas, but then number two, we just don't know about this, but it is about time to start looking into the working holiday visa. That's what I've been on. I've talked about it a lot, in my videos and in shorts and Instagram reels and TikTok and stuff like that. Again, rosstravelsofficial on Instagram and TikTok. There's ants all over my iPad, but we'll deal with that later. Perks of being on the beach. But it's about time for all my U.S. citizens, because everyone else in the world pretty much knows about. There's some other places that don't really know, but a majority of the world knows about working holidays and working holiday visas. For us in the States, we don't know. We don't know. We've got no idea because we're not supposed to know. Because we're supposed to be kept. We're supposed to be kept in the States, and it's what I call the U.S. stigma. It's what I call not the U.S. the American stigma. Well, the U.S. stigma, to be more specific. Because like in the States, we are kind of built to be like, you gotta grow up, grow up and go to school, go all elementary, middle school, and high school, and then after high school, you have to get a job, and then you have to go to college, and you have to get, buy cars and mortgages, and have a bunch of kids, and be $1 million in debt, get no vacation time off whatsoever, Okay, Australia, the lifestyle here in Australia is amazing. They've got time off for everything. Australia has time off for everything. And back in the States, we get time off for nothing. Nothing. We get, and what I like to say, again, not controversial, I think this is a fact actually, but unless you wear a suit and tie, you ain't getting a lot of time off. Like, again, a lot of people are not going to like that, but it is what it is. Like, unless you wear a suit and tie, you're probably not going to get a lot of time off. And I've worked a lot in the States, so I can confirm. But here in Australia, they've got all kinds of public holidays. And again, I know it's a different country and this and that, like I get it. But it also is like, it's one of those things where, like, I'll tell you this. For example, here in Australia, they've got public holidays. So like Easter, I'll take Easter, for example. So they've got Easter Sunday, because it's always on a Sunday, obviously. You got Easter Sunday, and you've got Easter Monday. When I got here last year, November 2023, a year and a half ago, it's like, what the hell is Easter Monday? And I found out from one of my Aussie friends. She said, oh, Easter Monday is basically another public holiday day That's right. Yeah, public holiday day on a weekday because you had a public holiday on the weekends. So if there's a public holiday on the weekend, like Australia Day, or not Australia Day, or maybe if it is Australia Day or Easter or whatever, if it lies on a Saturday or Sunday, you would then have a public holiday on a weekday to make up for your weekend day lost. I'm like, see, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Like, why is that so hard? Like, I don't understand why it's so hard for some places. So Australia's got it made. It's expensive, don't get me wrong, but Australia's got it made. So we get Easter Sunday, and Australia thinks because Easter Sunday is obviously on a Sunday, it's on a weekend, they've taken away from our weekend, so they give us Easter Monday. They give us a public holiday on a weekday as well. Now we're talking. Now we're talking, people. For anyone who's just joined, I've seen a lot of people come in and out, by the way. Welcome to the live stream, by the way. We're just kind of talking about travel and anything that just comes to my mind, honestly. If you have any questions or anything, just pop them in the chat. I've got my live chat box up. And I don't know how long I'll be out here, but we'll see. But I appreciate you guys for joining. But yeah, we'll keep going. But anything you have, pop it in the chat. I'll try and see it. But until then, I'll keep chopping it up. But yeah, so that's one thing I like about Australia. So for all my U.S. citizens, number one, get your passport. We're gonna get back on that. We're gonna get back on that. And it really goes for everybody too around the world. Like, everybody should get their passport. Everyone. There's a lot of places that get their passport handed to them. Us in the U.S., yeah. Good luck. We got to pay for it. Come on. We're not. But it's time to get your passport. You know, this goes for everybody around the world. But I can't speak for everyone around the world. I can only speak for everyone in the U.S. who don't travel. So, yes, I'm calling you out. It's about time to get your passport. And if you do have your passport, it's time to start using it. Okay? Again, like I said in last week's video, I know people have obligations and stuff like that, so it's not going to happen overnight. You know, I get it. But it's about time we sort of make, and I was there. I was in that position, was 2025, so it's 4.5 years, 6 years ago. I was in that position as well. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to travel. Like, I just, you know, like, I did want to travel, but I was like, I don't know if I'm going to travel internationally. Like, I don't know. I remember I had a goal in 2020 where I was like, I want to visit every single state in the U.S. and then take it international. That was the initial goal. Obviously, that, that did not happen. I'm at 45 states, by the way. I've only got 5 left. I'm still mad about New Jersey. I know you guys are going to be mad at me about New Jersey because I've been to New York. Why wouldn't you go to New Jersey? I know. I'm still mad about that. Listen, I'll figure that out. But I remember always saying, oh yeah, I want to go to every state, all 50 states before the age of 22. I don't remember why I said 22. It was just like a fun goal. But now, obviously, I'm 24. I've been to 45 states. Now, I've been to 15 countries. That's really taking a turn. We're at 15 countries now, folks. And so, should I run through them quick? For anyone who doesn't know which countries I've been to, I'm going to run through them quick. It's just always fun to say, because I get this question a lot. Like, oh, how many countries have you been to? Oh, I've been to 15. Okay, which ones? So I'm going to run through the countries quick, just to give you kind of a perspective of how I travel. We've got 5 people in the stream, by the way. What's up, guys? Shout out, okay? Yeah, shout out. Hey, my mom's in the stream. But yeah, New Jersey is waiting. I might just cheat and just like fly into New Jersey. Also, my aunt lives in New Jersey, by the way. So I need to go to New Jersey. I don't know why I didn't just take a subway from New York to anyway. But yeah. But we got 5 people in the stream. Shout out to everybody in the stream. Appreciate you guys for stopping by, whether it's for 5 minutes, 5 seconds, 30 seconds, doesn't matter. I appreciate it. All the support. I love it. But yeah, just to give you guys a perspective of where I go and how I travel, all the countries that I've been to. Yes, I'm going to count the U.S. because I don't want to go back. To live. I'll go visit. To live, I don't know. But no, I'll see the U.S. Also been to Canada. I'm always going to miss one. I've been to U.S., been to Canada, Bahamas, Mexico. Went to Mexico a couple years ago, or last year. Oh, not last year, a year and a half ago, late 2023. Dominican Republic. Shout out to all my Dominicans out there. You guys are amazing. That's my dad's second home. Although I take credit because I was there first. No, he loves it down there. But Dominican Republic. And then we pass it on to Europe, Poland, Belgium. Hey, we got 6 people in the stream, folks. What's going on? I'm just running through anyone who's joining the stream now. In the middle of the stream, I'm just going through all the countries that I've been to. But Poland, Belgium, that was awesome. 2 random European countries to start off with, by the way. But Poland, Belgium, that's 6 and 7. Thailand, Australia, that's 9. I remember that. And then I've been to Singapore, what, 10. Indonesia, 11. We got 4 more. Germany, Croatia, China, and New Zealand. That's 15, I think. It sounds like 15. So it's just a little bit of everything, folks. A little bit of everything. And again, anyone who wasn't here at the beginning of the stream, wow, 25 minutes in already. Wow. But anyone who wasn't in at the beginning of the stream, I'm planning a massive trip at the end of the year. Some of which you guys don't know about, some of which you guys kind of do know about. But we're planning to go to Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, and Pakistan. That is the plan. We got some other countries in there that I'm planning that I'm not going to tell you about. Number 1, because I just want to keep up the suspense. But then number 2, it's a place or places that nobody is going to expect. A couple of you guys know. But it's like 3 or 4 of you guys know the extra bits. Yeah, it's gonna be a place or places that nobody expects, and that's the fun part. And that's the reason why I got into the whole news talk. I'm not gonna talk about it again because that's just gonna stress me out. But that's the reason why I got into the whole news part, because the news makes you not want to go to these places. You know, oh, well, this place is dangerous, and this place has got this going on, and this place has got this group going on. But like, they say that, but then they don't talk about their own shit. So like the U.S., for example, the U.S. news is always going to be blasted out of proportion and blah, blah, blah. But it's like they always talk about everybody else. They don't talk about ourselves. Like, oh, they talk about, oh, it's dangerous in Brazil, it's dangerous in the DR, it's dangerous in Mexico, it's dangerous in blah, blah, blah. Okay, but how about, some places in LA? How about some places in Chicago? How about some places in Memphis and New Orleans? How about that? We don't hear about that globally. So it's like, I mean, it's just, it's dangerous everywhere. But the reason why I say all that is because I've taken all that stuff and I've thrown it out the window. It doesn't matter. And obviously, when I'm traveling, I'm gonna be safe. I'm gonna keep my wits about me. I get it. You gotta be safe everywhere. But that's the point. It's everywhere. It's not just Mexico. It's not just Brazil. It's not just Argentina. Like, it's everywhere, including the United States. So, throw a little bit of sass in there. Because, but like, it is what it is. So that's why I travel the way I do. That's why I go to some off the beaten path countries, because why not? Again, I've watched the news 2-3 years ago. I was sucked into everything. And it's like, once I moved out of the United States, I started to realize, hey, life is pretty good outside of there, Like, I've been in Australia, a year and a half? Hey, life is pretty good. You got the beach, okay? For anyone who doesn't know, I'm on the beach, by the way. But I'm on a little bit of a hill. I'm on a little bit of an angle. So you can't really see the water. I would sit this way, but the sun is coming up that way. I got the hill going down to the beach back there. So the lighting is right here. The beach is over here, and I've got the hill right here. So I had to choose. I had to choose an angle. But for anyone who hasn't seen yet, I'm going to show you the beach. Let's just show you what we got here. Oh, yeah. Anyone who's been here from the beginning, of the stream, number 1, I appreciate it. Number 2, you've seen the beach like 3 times. But I know people are popping in and out, so I'm trying to just kind of keep it fresh. And again, you might see me on a little bit of an angle just because of the hill. But we got Jimmy over there. We got the seagull. I don't have any food, man. I'm sorry. Jimmy the seagull. But but it's amazing. It's amazing out there. And yeah, Thailand. Yeah. So Thailand, I mean, listen, Thailand, shout out to both parents in the stream, by the way. Both parents in the stream, appreciate it. But Thailand is like, for anyone who hasn't been to Southeast Asia or is intimidated by Southeast Asia, because listen, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. I understand. For anyone who wants to visit Southeast Asia, Thailand is the number 1 spot to go. They speak English. I don't speak Thai, obviously, but it's just so easy. It's backpacker friendly. It's cheap as chips. Okay, you could get a pad thai plate, like a legit full dinner plate of pad thai or pad see ew or pad whatever, a bottle of Sprite maybe about this big. I mean, it's not. It's a Coldplay bottle. I got my coffee in it, but you can get a whole plate of pad Thai rice and like a Sprite for like $3 USD, which is what, five Australian, give or take 4 or 5 Canadian. Like, that's a no-brainer, folks. That's a no-brainer. So I get that it's far from most of you guys in North America, North, South America, and Europe. But like when you want to go to Southeast Asia, you want to experience some rich culture and just pure happiness, by the way, Southeast Asia is very, very, very happy. Besides Finland. I'm going to go to Scandinavia at some point, but I don't know if it's going to be this year. But Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Philippines. It's just, I mean, and there's so many more. Indonesia, come on. Everyone's just so happy there. Like, just the vibe is great. There's loads of backpackers, so you're not going to be any shy of tourists. And like, you know, so anyone who needs like some Southeast Asia ideas, I recommend Thailand. I recommend Indonesia. I recommend Vietnam. I think Vietnam is, I mean, it's all cheap. It's all cheap. But Vietnam is like one of the cheapest of the cheap. It's all cheap, but like it's the cheapest of the cheap. You know, you can go get a banh mi for like $1 just off on the side of the street. I love it. But like, I mean, come on, folks. Like, we really got to get out. We really got to stop. See, last week's video. We really got to stop messing around and go. Like, what? We're not. A lot of people think we're just stuck on our own country because it's comfortable. And listen, I get it. And again, I can't speak for every country, but I can speak for the U.S. because that's where I'm from. That's how we're grown up. That's how we grow up. We're grown up to be like, okay, you have to do this in this order, or you're gonna fail and never succeed in life. If you don't go to college, you're gonna fail. If you don't get a car, you're gonna fail. You don't have kids, you're gonna fail. If you don't work a 9 to 5 until you're 90, I gotta bring that back. 9 to 5 until you're 95. I gotta bring that back. I gotta bring that back and trademark it before someone takes it. But if you don't have a cold ass cubicle job and work until you're 80 years old and have no retirements because they don't care about you, like they don't care about you, then you're gonna fail, and that's not true. It's not true. You can go and I said "and" like 5 times, but it's like you're never gonna succeed in life if you don't do everything within your home country, and that's just wrong. It's wrong. And so, again, take it from me, who's been to 15 countries. I've seen Europe, the way of Europe. I've seen the way of Southeast Asia. I've seen the way of Oceania. I've seen, I've been South America. No, DR is still in North America. But still, like, I've seen different parts of the world and how they operate. Again, Australia, they take care of their people. And like, even me, I have a super fund. I have a superannuation fund. And like, I'm not even a resident here. And I still have a super fund. And when I leave Australia after my 3rd year, I'm going to get all that money that's been taken out back to me. And that's going to be nice. That's going to be very nice. And so if I'm going to stay out here in Australia forever, I don't know. I still have a lot more places to visit. But we'll see. There's some benefits of having an Australian passport, by the way. If you have an Australian passport, you then are technically a resident of New Zealand, but then you can also turn around and go work and live in the UK as well because of the Commonwealth and this and that. Listen, a 3-in-1. I'll tell you what, the U.S. doesn't have that. All right. Just taking shots. I'm trying to be positive, Ross. I think someone asked what a super fund. I didn't see who asked, but someone asked what a super fund is. It's a superannuation fund. It's basically like I think it's like for us U.S. citizens, it's kind of like a version of a 401k, I think. I don't know. I didn't set most of that stuff up yet in the States because I can really care, but because I do not want to live there, so it doesn't matter. But so basically, I'll just explain it. So a superannuation fund is basically there's a portion of your check that gets I think it's like Social Security or 401k or whichever one, I don't know. But it gets taken out of your check here in Australia. It gets set aside, and there's so many super funds. There's a lot of super funds that they take a portion of your check, they set aside in your super account, and they just save it. It's just like another form of a savings account. and it just sits there and sits there. And there's so many different funds. Like you can do funds, and you can elect like 5% of your superannuation that goes in to go towards helping indigenous communities, or eco-friendly stuff, or fossil fuels. There's all kinds of like movements and stuff that you could have your superannuation go for, or you could just have your superannuation not have it go towards anything. I think mine goes towards eco-friendly stuff. That's really important to me. So like clean and green stuff like that, and that sort of thing. So my superannuation fund gets taken out from my employer. Actually, no, that's wrong. They they calculate how much they have to pay. So your employer pays an amount into your superannuation fund. So you get taxes taken out of your check, as everyone does, but then a portion of the check goes to your super fund, but your employer pays that most of the time. Your employer pays that, which is nice. It's great. And then once so for Australians, then it's when you retire, or when you when you're at the retirement age or whatever, then you get all that to you. In my case, since I'm on a working holiday, once my 3 years is up, or once I decide to leave Australia, whether it's after your first year, second year, or third year, you just call up. You got to prove that you're out of Australia, that you're not coming back on the specific visa, and then they'll give you the money back, to you when you leave. I'm like, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, dude. This is great. So that's what the super fund is. It's pretty cool. It's a lot better than what we got going on in the U.S. because, again, they just don't care about you. Again, controversial. I'm not here to be controversial all day, but they don't care about you. They just, you know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, and I think I say that because I've seen how much I have in my super funds, and I've got a lot. I'm sorry, I'm like screaming. I didn't mean to do that, but I've got a good deal on my super account. I've been here a year and change, a year and 4 months, and I'm not gonna say how much I got because we're not gonna do that publicly, but I've got a lot. I'm gonna see, now we're talking. A place that takes care of you and looks out after you. And yeah, Australia is still expensive. It still is expensive, so don't get me wrong, but it's great. But like, I don't know. But again, after this second year, I'm gonna be. Oh, I got a question. Every worker have to put that into the fund. Is it optional? No, I think it is mandatory because, it's optional as to which super funds you want to have, because again, there's so many. There's so many kinds. Like there's so many that goes to different movements and different communities and different this and that. So you can select the ones you want. I just want to take a second, folks. We got 5 people in the stream. I know folks are coming in and out, so I'm stopping randomly. But anyone who's jumped in or jumped out, whether it's been for 30 seconds, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I appreciate all of you guys. Just want to take a second to say that. Yeah, so it is mandatory, but it's not like, you're not going to be, it's not like a lock-in contract or anything. If you're a resident, then it kind of is, but it's to your benefit. Like, it's to your benefit. So, folks who are from out of the country and here on the working holiday visa that don't set up their own the flies, come on. We've been okay so far, flies. Don't start. All right. But folks who don't set up their own super fund and just want to choose whatever, then their employer will then set up a super account for them, which is fine. But like, you kind of want to have control over which super fund, because there's a lot of them. There's some that go to so many different communities and movements and stuff like that. Some will have you have more over time than others. Like, there's so many different benefits, and I'll be here for hours talking about benefits, but maybe I'll make a video on that. But I gotta do some really deep in research, because that's more for like residency and stuff like that. Folks on the working holiday visa, they don't really look too much into that, because like because they know we're not gonna get the money back when we leave. So for folks who are like prime Australian residents, they can talk about, maybe I'll get an Aussie. And we'll talk about this or something. We'll talk about it on like a video or something like that. We'll do like a comparison, because I gotta really do a deep dive on like the nitty gritty, because obviously residents, they're gonna have it for years and years and years. Folks on the working holiday visa are really gonna have it up to 3 years. So we don't really look too much into it, because we know it's only for however long we're here, and it's only for a couple of years. So we'll talk about that. But I would prefer anyone who is coming out on the working holiday visa to look into the super account in Australia, to look into your own super account. I personally use Future Super. It's a pretty good one. I really like it. But there's so many benefits to so many other super accounts. So look into that. I mean, there's so many accounts and so many websites that break down their own benefits and this and that. So take a look at that. But I personally use Future Super. I absolutely love it. So it's great. But folks, where are we at? We're at 40 minutes. We're at 40 minutes. Okay. I think we'll go up to an hour. I think we'll do an hour maybe. We'll do another 20 minutes and call it good. But anyway, yeah, so it's great. It's great out here. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. This should be cooled off by now, but I got this thermal cup, so it keeps it hot for like ever. That's still hot. Shout out to Coldplay, by the way. I got this cup in Auckland, New Zealand, when I was at the concert last November. I got to meet Chris Martin, by the way. You don't get to do that every day. But yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah. So anyone so folks who are in the United States primarily, and this could go for anybody, but anyone in the United States, look into the working holiday visa. Look into the working holiday visa. Got to be between 18 and 30 for us. For the Canadians, it's 18 to 35. For us U.S. citizens, it's 18 to 30. Sorry, guys. Let me do that. Okay, here we're good. Make sure my iPad wasn't overheating. But yeah, look into that. For anyone who wants to take the gap year and this and that, like, I mean, I'm still on my gap year. I'm on my gap years. I'm on my gap years. I'm still going. Am I going to go to school? No. I really don't want to be in debt. I'm good. But there are other ways, folks. And for us U.S. citizens, there's only, 6 options? And the easiest ones are Australia and New Zealand. The other 4 options is Singapore, South Korea, Austria, and Ireland. But those are more study-based visas. Obviously, I don't have that. So I've only got Australia and New Zealand. So, but yeah, so it's good. It's good, folks. Take this off. But I love it. The working holiday is great. It's a good way to experience another culture. Hold on. Is it challenging to navigate new countries? Yeah, it is a good. I was actually going to sort of dive into that. Yeah, it's the working holiday is a good way to just like see a different way of life. A different way of life. It's great. Like being out here by the ocean. And I wasn't a big ocean guy until I worked in the Outback for 4 months. And I was like, you know what? The water's not that bad. I mean, it was never that bad, but I would never see myself as like, I need to be by the beach. But again, I worked in the Outback for 4 months, and it was fine. It was a great experience, but I think it was just the specific place, not the backpackers. The backpackers are great. By the way, I'm getting 2 of them that I worked with. I don't know if Mika's on the stream, Mika and Tom, but they'll be here soon. Just saying. They're going to be here soon. We worked together in Marla, and I refused to not let them go back. So they're going to be up here with me in about a month, I think. So that's great. But going back to the question, challenging to navigate new countries, it can be. Like Australia has been overwhelming, but it's an English-speaking country. For all of us English speakers, it's fine. Same thing with New Zealand as well. It's not that bad. It's just a little more expensive. If you're coming as a tourist, like it is what it is. Coming on a visa, there's just a lot to go into it. I remember I was talking to my friend Darcy. I don't know if she's, I think she's working, but I was talking to my friend Darcy. Shout out to Darcy, by the way. But I remember when she was first coming out to Australia, I like sent her like a whole massive message. I think I stressed her out on accident. But it's just kind of like a lot that goes into it because when you're coming on the working holiday, when you're coming as a visitor, then it's whatever. But if you're coming as a working holiday, then you gotta think about your tax file number, which is like your social security number for us U.S. citizens. Tax file number, your future super, and you gotta find a job, and where you gonna live, and how you gonna get your visa days if you want to do it, or where you gonna work, or where you gonna live. You got Melbourne and Sydney and Brisbane and Adelaide and Perth, and you got outback towns and outback country places. Like there's so many different options in a place at a size like Australia. I mean, Australia is massive. It's huge. So you got that. You're gonna go down to Tasmania as well. But if we're talking like more international, like non-English speaking, or I mean English speaking, but not their first language, like Southeast Asia, Indonesia, they speak Indonesian. Thailand, they speak Thai. They do speak English. It's just their second language. But that's why I kind of say that like because some countries are a lot harder to navigate than others. So that's why I say, like, for folks who want to travel internationally, want to live extremely cheap, but still want to get some good quality, love made into their food, or like some good quality housing. That's why so many people go to Southeast Asia. That's why so many people go to, people go to South Asia as well. Europe is expensive. The euro and the USD and the Canadian dollar is kind of, well, maybe not the Canadian dollar, but the USD and the euro is all kind of the same. It's kind of the same. So Europe is great, but Europe is just expensive. So that's why everybody comes out to Southeast Asia. So that's why we say like Thailand, because Thailand's easy. It's not easy, but it can be overwhelming. It is overwhelming. But it's easy, because there's so many backpackers. There's so many people in the same position, whether you're solo traveling as friends, traveling in a couple, traveling when you're older, younger, like it doesn't matter. There's everybody's there. So you're not going to run into anybody who's not in the same position as you, whether they're backpackers or just visitors or whatever. You're going to run into someone in the same position as you. And Thailand's easy because, again, it's an English-speaking country, but it's just their second language. But, like, it's just easy to understand. Like, they've got Thai and they've got English everywhere because it's so, especially like Bangkok, Phuket, Chiang Mai. Like, all of them, those are, like, the kind of the popular ones. I probably missed a few. Once you really start going into more of the local areas, like off the beaten path places, where I like to go, because it's not just filled with tourists, then you'll start getting not more of a struggle, but you're going to get more of a, there's not too much English spoken around and whatnot. But you really just kind of navigate your way. And the more you travel, ooh, that's a good throw. The more you travel, the more you get used to it, and the more you kind of figure out and navigate your way through things. Like for me, I don't speak really any Spanish. I know a little bit of Spanish, just a little bit, but not enough to run off like 5 sentences. There's no way. I'm still learning. Same thing with French. Like, I'm not going to run off a bunch of sentences in French, but I know words. Like, if I listen to people speak, I can know what they're talking about, both in Spanish and French. And so if I'm speaking English or even speaking French, I can like use hand gestures. I can use different ways to communicate. Google Translate's easy, but I could use like different ways and different words to communicate. Because that's another thing people ask me too. They ask me, oh, how do you, you're working in Australia. Everyone from all around the world is working. Like here in Monkey Maya, here at the resort over here, we got people from Argentina. We got people from France. We got people from Brazil. We got folks from the UK. We got folks from Germany. My neighbor Sam, he's from Germany. We got folks from Italy. Like, we got people from all kinds of places. And yeah, most of those places are English speaking, but just maybe not as their first language. And so how do you get along? Like, if English is not their first language or whatever, then sometimes you just use hand gestures, or maybe you speak a little bit slower, or you use words that they would understand. And it's hard to explain, but just the more you do it, the more you'll get used to it. But as far as navigating countries, it's kind of the same thing. As far as navigating countries, it's cool. Like, you just kind of just figure your way around. So you have like easy countries like Indonesia. You've got, and by the way, Bali. I know a lot of people say Bali. It's a little fun fact. Bali is not the entire country. Indonesia is the entire country. And now Bali is the popular island. Obviously, like it's a popular island. But like, a lot of people say, oh yeah, Bali, Indonesia is in Bali. It's the other way around. Bali is in Indonesia. Indonesia is the country, Bali is not the country. Now, Bali is the most popular one, so I get why people say it. But just don't make the mistakes. If you go to Jakarta, be like, oh yeah, I'm going to Jakarta, Bali. No, Jakarta, Indonesia. And plus some of the locals don't like that, so just be sure to look out for that. But yeah, Indonesia, easy. Thailand, easy. Vietnam, all of Southeast Asia is really easy, but like Vietnam is a little more intermediate. Laos and Cambodia, a little more intermediate, but you can still get it done. You can still get it done. And if you move over to South Asia, like I'm getting ready to do this year, Sri Lanka, easy. India, a little bit more technical because because number one, India is just huge. It's massive, which is why I am going to be spending, I'm planning on 60 days. That might change. But I'm planning on doing you really only need like a month in Sri Lanka. You may do longer if you want. But just to do everything and not be rushed, a month in Sri Lanka is good. If you want to do more than that, then you'll see literally everything. But if you want to go to Sri Lanka and get the most out of it, I wouldn't spend any less than 3 weeks. But then when it comes to, there's ants all over my stuff. But when it comes to like India, for example, India is a little technical. It's still travel friendly. Like you still a lot of backpackers, a lot of travelers in India. It's not that part. It's just huge, and there's so many people, and it's just a little more intermediate because it's just a lot more to consider in India. And then Nepal is obviously backpacker friendly as well. That one's not as bad because it's not as big. And then you've got, and then Pakistan, which is the 4 countries. I just named those 4 countries because that's where I'm going. But Pakistan, like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I know a lot of people, they'll hear the stand at the end and be like, oh my God. Listen, it's okay. It's okay. Pakistan is a very travel-friendly place. Like, Pakistan is very travel-friendly. Iran, surprisingly, is travel-friendly. I'm still thinking about going. I know a lot of people are going to be falling out of their chairs and all that. I get it. But, like, believe it or not, it's a very travel-friendly place. You get backpackers there, too. A lot of Central Asian countries as well, which I'm going to be traveling to and planning to travel to. I'm not going to say which ones yet because I'm going to keep it a surprise, so stay tuned. rosstravelsofficial on Instagram and rosstravels here on YouTube. You'll hear about that soon. But, like, it just really depends. But then if you want to go up to Europe as well, I think I missed something, but even like Europe, if you go up to, like easier countries in Europe, France, Germany. I mean, the UK is not in Europe, but it's up there. But the UK, but then over in Europe, like mainland Europe, you get Germany, you get France, you get Belgium. I don't know why I'm blanking right now. But those like Croatia, Greece, those like the popular countries. But like for me, why not go over and do some Eastern European countries? Countries that folks don't really talk about. Romania. I mean, they talk about these places, but a lot of people don't visit, like a Paris, like a Frankfurt, like a Berlin. But like Romania. Why not go to Romania? Why not go to Hungary? Okay, I actually do want to go to Hungary. Shout out to Bori, by the way. I don't know if she's watching the stream, but shout out to Bori. She's from Hungary. But like Hungary or so I mean, I don't want to like Poland. Like I've been to Poland. Not a lot of people are thinking of Poland as their first country to go to in Europe. But like I went there as my second country to in Europe. Why not? Like why not, man? So I think that's really cool. And so like I don't know, I went down a rabbit hole, folks, but it's easy to kind of get caught up in what about this and what about this, and I get it because like it's when you leave a country and you go somewhere really far or whatever, then it makes sense that it's gonna work out. Cool. We're at 52 minutes, folks. We have 4 people in the stream. Anyone who's joined in, appreciate it. I'm probably gonna hop off actually because it's getting a bit warm out here. We've done close to an hour. I would try and keep them under an hour, but I'm gonna close off by saying, I hope I didn't miss any comments, by the way. I think we're okay. I hope I didn't miss any. Here we go. I'm just gonna scroll through just to be sure I didn't miss anything. Oh yeah, I did. I did. Yeah, no time. Oh yeah. So I missed a few comments, folks. Sorry. Passport loading. Thanks for. Yeah, for sure. Shout out to the DR. I missed so many comments. Yeah, Thailand. I talked about Thailand. Super fun. Mandatory. Navigate countries. Many of the countries are safe. Yeah. Thank you for that. Okay. Albania. Yeah, Albania seems newer. Yeah. So my friend Bori, by the way, that I mentioned her a sec. She's from Hungary. Albania is becoming very, very popular. She's convinced me to. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm gonna travel every country in the world, all 197, all countries. I'm gonna travel to all of them, obviously. But she not convinced me, but she's like let me know, hey, Albania's pretty nice to go to. So if I mean, I'm gonna be in Central Asia, maybe maybe I'll pop up there. Maybe I'll pop up in there, because I'm probably going to be going through Turkey to get to and from some of these places. I think it'll be at the end of the trip, though, once I go over back towards North America next January for my buddy's wedding in Mexico. So I'm going to probably go through Istanbul or Abu Dhabi or Dubai. But yeah, so Albania's cool. Albania's cool. Last thing, I want to talk about flights. This just came out, it just reminded me. So when it comes to flights, because a lot of people ask me about flights, I think I'll make a video on this as well. But since I have it in my brain and since we're here on the stream, we're gonna talk about some flights. But the way to find flights is a few tricks. There's a few tricks. I'll keep it quick so I can jump off of here so my iPad doesn't get too hot and explode. But the ways to look for flights, number one, when it comes to traveling to a destination you want to, look in the low season. In the low season. So, for example, I'm going to use Los Angeles just because it's easy. But everyone's going to go to Los Angeles in May, June, July, August, because it's the summertime. Everyone's out of school, everyone's on break, and it's hot, whereas the wintertime, I would go to California in December. I'll go to Los Angeles for ants, stupid ants. Perks of being in the wildlife, folks. Looking for flights in the off season and traveling to places in the off season is the move, because normally a lot of things are cheaper. A lot of travelers are not there. So like using the example of California or Los Angeles, a lot of people aren't going to go to Los Angeles in December time because they're going to think it's cold. I don't think it's cold, but they think it's cold. 65 degrees. Come on. What are we even? Seriously? I mean, for all my folks, 65 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, mid-teens Celsius. That ain't cold. That's nothing. But a lot of people don't do it because they think of California as sunshine and palm trees and beach. And so if it's anything below 70, they ain't traveling. So when you go in the off season, you can still get some great weather if you aren't warm-blooded, and there's not a lot of tourists around, and so that's why a lot of people say go to Thailand, go to or really just Southeast Asia overall, go to Australia in the off season. Like the off season, we're getting into the off season for us is becoming winter here. I know it's ridiculous. It's a bit weird for you guys to hear that, but we're coming into winter now in Australia, and I say that with sunglasses on the beach with the sun. I mean, come on. So but a lot of people don't travel out here because they think it's cold. And so traveling in the off season is the way to go. And that also helps out with flights, because flights are cheaper in the off season because not everybody's going. So they need to sell the flights. They put the price down to attract people to come out and travel. So looking in the off season is the way to go, folks. But looking for flights, Skyscanner is a good one. If you look on Google Flights, make sure you're on private mode, because if you're just on like a regular tab, then Google's going to remember all your cookies and stuff like that in search history, and then it's going to find the flights and jack up the price for no reason, which it doesn't actually jack up the price. It just throws up a higher level fare. So it just makes it seem, oh yeah, the flight's gone up, maybe I should book this flight. It makes you want to book the flight, ahead of time. Not ahead of time, but it makes you want to book the flight quicker, because they just take away the basic flight. They just put like the main cabin. So the flight doesn't actually go up. They just take away the cheapest option. But if you go on incognito mode, on private mode, you'll get the cheapest option every time, because there's no history. There's no, you're on private mode. So there's no history. There's no cookies to track and this and that. So that's a big takeaway. Also, I know a lot of people aren't going to do this. I'm just crazy, but try looking in the middle of the night. Like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Again, I know it's a little crazy. It doesn't happen every time, but you get this thing called mistaken fares. And those will probably most likely, not that it can't happen during the daytime, but it most likely happens overnight. Someone makes a mistake overnight. Not a lot of people are going to see it because everyone's asleep. So but I've caught a flight. I was telling my dad about this the other day. I caught a flight. It was 2 years ago. I didn't end up going on. I had to change the plans and because of COVID. But I found a flight. I was in Virginia at the time, and I remember I was looking up a flight to go to Indonesia because I really wanted to go. And I remember looking up this flight. It was like $600-700 one way, and I looked at 3 months. It was about the same. And then I looked at it was like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and that flight went down to $400 one way USD. I was like, wow, that's a $300 difference. Booked the flight right there, So there's some travel tips. That one's a little bit crazy, But you got some other tricks like using like different apps. Like Hopper is a good one, Skyscanner is a good one, Google Flights obviously on private mode is a good one. You can set price alerts as well, so you'll get an email or a notification if the flight goes down. And then yeah, travel in the off season, and don't be afraid to fly economy. I know my dad's not gonna like that one, but but don't be afraid to fly economy, folks. It'll save you a lot of money. I mean, there are some times where like, if it's like a super cheap like Spirit Airline, well, Spirit, it's all economy. But like, you know, if you're flying like United's gonna get you there. United's pretty solid. Same thing with Delta, even though the plane flipped over the other day. Like, don't be afraid of economy, folks. Don't be afraid of economy. It's great. Still get you there. Still pretty comfortable. Again, I mean, I'm saying that, but again, I'm pretty crazy. I am the super budget travel, hashtag Row35 Club. I'm going to make a t-shirt that says that. Hashtag Row35 Club every time. It's going to get you there. And I'm also 6 foot. So if I can do it, a lot of you guys can do it. Yeah, but don't be afraid to fly economy. Although the comfort is very attractive, and I get it. Listen, no judgment. No judgment. I understand. But yeah, so there's some little tricks there about flights, and then booking in the off season, and that goes for flights and destinations. Like going to Thailand in October, November, you know, that's more the rainy season, I think. So it's still popular, but it's not as popular. It's not as overwhelming. It still is overwhelming, but not as overwhelming because you got the rainy season. And so a lot of folks don't really want to deal with the rainy season, but then you get cheaper hotels, you get cheaper flights, you get cheaper this and that. So, and it still ends up being fine. It's still really humid, but it's still really fine. So, yeah, so there's some little tips, folks. I missed a few of them, but I'm gonna hop off here. It's over 60 minutes here, so we're gonna go. I gotta redo the thumbnail and redo all my settings and stuff because it's a new link now because I messed up the first one. But hey, you gotta live and you learn. But appreciate everyone who hopped on the stream. We had a lot of people come through on this one, so I think we'll probably do some early morning streams because it helps out those in the U.S. It's hard because here in Australia I can just stream whenever I want. But yeah, for me during the day, I either get the morning time, the afternoon, or the evening here in Australia. But then I got to think about folks in Europe and the UK and the US or North and South America. So it's like the morning here is the afternoon in the States, but it's the middle of the night for the UK. Whereas 2 weeks ago, I went at 4 p.m. I did a 4 p.m. stream. It was 3 a.m. on the East Coast in the United States, but it was 8 a.m. over in the UK or in Europe. So it's just kind of hard to work out. So we're gonna keep playing around with some stuff, but I appreciate you guys hopping on. Appreciate the engagement, and we got 5 likes. I appreciate it, guys. I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna upload this stream right away. I'm gonna do a little bit of shopping. I did a massive Woolies order last night, but we sent the order in too late, so we're not gonna get it tomorrow. Unfortunately, we're gonna get it on Tuesday. So I'm gonna do some shopping at the overpriced shop right here, and and I'm gonna do some more behind the scenes stuff. I'm gonna get some more friends up here at the job, and I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna make some purchases and make some plans today that you guys will know about in the near future. So anyway, I appreciate you guys for watching. We're gonna do some more of these live streams. I think I'm gonna do every other week. Then I'm gonna do a live stream, then a video, and then a live stream, and then a video, and just talk about the previous video, and then like other stuff as well. Because I'm always gonna get sidetracked. But appreciate you guys all for watching. Appreciate all of you guys for engaging, whether you guys were throwing some comments and stuff, whether you guys were here for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 seconds, it doesn't matter. I appreciate it. And to all the new followers, I appreciate you guys over the last couple of weeks. We got 27 new followers in the last week or so. Amazing. So we're gonna keep this thing rolling. And yeah, I'm gonna end off. I'm cooking out here. The ants are coming in full force. And like and subscribe on Ross Travel. Share it with the folks you know. Share it with the folks you don't know. Be kind to each other. Love one another. And I'll see you guys later.